What if the operating system you've trusted for decades suddenly demanded monthly payments just to use basic features? What if your 5-year-old PC, still fast enough for work, school, family, got locked out entirely? And what happens when even Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates reacts with stunned disbelief to his company's direction? As Microsoft prepares Windows 12 for 2026 launch, explosive backlash erupts from individual users and enterprises. Forums overflow with resistance to NPU hardware requirements, excluding older PCs and aggressive telemetry for AI training. This isn't speculation, it's grounded in verified leaks, tester reports, and historical shifts from Windows 11 controversies. This video proves why Windows 12 risks alienating its massive base before launch and equips you to protect your setup now before forced upgrades hit. Microsoft's vision for Windows 12 represents what the company calls a fundamental reimagining of personal computing, an agentic operating system where AI doesn't just assist, it anticipates, automates, and acts on your behalf without constant prompting. This builds directly on Windows 11's Copilot integration, announced in September 2023 and refined through 2024's 24H2 update. But Windows 12 takes autonomy to unprecedented levels. Internal leaks from mid-2025 insider builds, analyzed by outlets like PC Mag and The Verge, reveal features like natural language file explorer search, type find my text documents from last April instead of navigating folder trees, and Hey Copilot voice activation that lets you command your PC hands-free. Similar to Alexa or Siri, but deeply integrated into system operations. Copilot Vision, one of the most ambitious additions, continuously analyzes screen content in real time, offering contextual suggestions like summarizing long documents you're reading, pulling relevant data from open tabs, or drafting email responses based on conversation threads. Microsoft frames these capabilities as solving chronic productivity bottlenecks, endless app switching, repetitive workflows, and information overload that plague modern knowledge workers. The official narrative emphasizes convenience wrapped in privacy assurances. On-device neural processing units, NPUs, handle most processing locally, requiring minimum 40 TOPS computational power to run AI models without cloud latency. This hardware mandate accompanies standard specs, at least 8 GB RAM, 16 GB recommended for optimal AI performance, 64 GB storage, TPM, 2.0 security chips, and DirectX 12 compatible GPUs, positioning Windows 12 as a premium experience for newer Copilot Plus PCs while theoretically supporting older machines in degraded modes. Announcement timelines suggest a grand reveal at Microsoft Build 2026, so likely May or June, following the company's traditional annual cadence. This builds on momentum from Windows 11's EI-centric 4H2 rollout in late 2024, which introduced features like Paint Co-Creator and Photos background removal, testing user appetite for deeper integration. Windows 12 promises seamless cloud device orchestration. Imagine starting a task on your desktop and having Windows automatically sync your workspace to your laptop via OneDrive and Microsoft 365, with AI agents carrying context across devices. Cross-app automation features let you say, schedule a meeting with everyone in this email thread and book Conference Room B, with Copilot executing calendar, email, and resource booking simultaneously. Microsoft publicly insists telemetry remains essential for stability. Diagnostic data identifies crashes, achieve performance bottlenecks, and usage patterns that guide feature refinement, echoing justifications from Windows 10 and 11 eras. On licensing, official channels stay vague, but hints suggest hybrid models, traditional one-time purchases for base OS access, with premium AI features gated behind Microsoft 365-style subscriptions, mirroring the company's successful cloud revenue strategies. Enterprise perpetual licenses continue via volume agreements, though consumer-grade perpetual options remain unconfirmed, sparking speculation. Microsoft positions this as empowerment. Users choose their level of AI engagement, while framing hardware requirements as necessary guardrails, ensuring smooth experiences without constant internet dependency, unlike cloud-only competitors. Soon, the narrative promises Windows 12 will leapfrog macOS and Chrome OS in AI capability, cementing Microsoft's lead in the next computing era where operating systems evolve from passive platforms to proactive partners. Early 2026 leaks dissected by analysts expose licensing files like slmgr.ini, referencing subscription type, device, or user, with activation checks querying servers for active/expired states, implying base OS functionality could lapse without payments. Tester builds confirm NPU mandates for local AI, forcing cloud fallback on legacy hardware, transmitting app usage, keystrokes, and screen metadata despite claims. Independent previews by outlets like PC Mag reveal start menu promotions for paid tiers, reduced multitasking in basic modes, and telemetry capturing behavioral patterns for model training. Kevin Beaumont-style tests on similar Windows 11 systems show required diagnostics still leak hardware configs and IP data. Windows 12 amplifies this for agentic AI. Concrete experiments and leaks, and typing patterns under improving typing send to cloud, even offline, combinable for profiles. You probably think subscriptions only hit businesses, but home users, over 70% of base, face ads, limits, and data flows mirroring enterprise shifts, where perpetual options ended years ago. Dangers manifest practically: aggregated data trains models, risks re-identification via cross-referencing, expanding attack surfaces amid 2025's 12 critical flaws. Privacy groups flag subscription telemetry as breaching GDPR data minimization, demanding explicit consent for AI behavioral logs. Enterprise firms decried no perpetual consumer licenses, echoing 2025 Windows 10 EOS pressures. Checkpoint Research warns AI expansions heighten vulnerabilities like remote code execution. The Verge notes, AI backlash precedents like Recall's 2025 reversal. FTC-style probes loom if defaults share health/financial metadata from AI analysis. Regulations target exactly this. Non-granular opt-outs on 1.4 billion devices risk mass violations. Imagine a remote worker juggling deadlines on their reliable 5-year-old laptop, a workhorse that served faithfully through countless projects. Windows 12's strict NPU requirements, demanding 40+ TOPS neural processors, declare it obsolete overnight, blocking local AI. Features like Copilot Vision and agentic automation. Forced into cloud fallback via Windows 365 subscription streaming, their sessions get logged, app switches between confidential spreadsheets, Slack threads with deal terms, and screen captures analyzed remotely. One misconfigured Azure permission or server breach later, and trade secrets, client lists, pricing strategies, negotiation notes spill into the wild. This isn't remote theory, it's the exact risk pattern from Windows 11's cloud telemetry, now scaled for autonomous AI agents. For example, picture a high school teacher grading essays late into the evening. As Copilot helps by suggesting phrasing improvements, the improved inking and typing feature, enabled by default, silently captures keystroke rhythms, document snippets, and student names scrolling across screen analyses. If synced to their Microsoft account for cross-device continuity, this data joins behavioral profiles. A FERPA violation looms, protected student information, even partial, reconstructed from aggregates could trigger audits, fines, or job loss when combined with public school directories. Consider a healthcare aide documenting patient vitals during home visits. Telemetry grabs handwriting patterns from OneNote entries under personalization, while Copilot Vision scans charts for summaries, vitals, medications, and diagnoses all processed. An unintended cloud send during NPU fallback violates HIPAA directly. Patient identifiers tied to health data stored in profiles protected by mere account PINs. One phishing email and a clinic faces regulatory hell. Or think of a domestic violence survivor finally escaping, setting up a fresh PC with a new Microsoft account for safety. Windows 12's mandatory account linking and AI profiling syncs usage habits, search patterns, app timings, location hints from weather widgets across devices. If their ex-partner guesses the recovery email or PIN, they reconstruct daily routines, new neighborhood inferences, even work schedules. Local accounts? Increasingly blocked. These scenarios ground telemetry's real dangers and human stakes. Professionals lose livelihoods, vulnerable people lose safety, all from helpful defaults. No one plans data betrayal, but systems don't ask permission first. Microsoft's response to the mounting Windows 12 backlash has been measured but far from definitive, revealing a company caught between innovation ambitions and user revolt. Following the intense scrutiny of Windows 11's AI features like Recall, which faced swift reversal in mid-2025 after privacy researchers exposed its screen scraping risks, Microsoft adjusted course in late 2025 insider previews. They made advanced Copilot elements, such as taskbar search and Hey Copilot wake word activation, fully optional rather than baked into core shell experiences. Official blog posts and support documentation emphasize user choice, with toggle switches under settings greater than personalization, greater than Copilot options, allowing deactivation without system instability. This shift addressed immediate outcries from forums like Reddit's r/Windows and enterprise IT groups who feared mandatory I would bloat resource usage on mid-range hardware. Yet, these changes stop short of tackling the root controversies fueling Windows 12's pre-launch firestorm. Leaks from early 2026 builds, dissected by analysts at sites like PC Mag and Windows Central, confirm no reversal on rumored consumer perpetual licenses. Code strings and licensing modules, slmgr.ini, and related binaries, persistently reference subscription edition variants, with server-side checks for subscription type, device, or user, and statuses like active, grace, or expired. This implies that Windows 12 Home could function in a limited mode post trial, nudging users toward monthly fees for full AI access, File Explorer natural language search, or multi-agent workflows. Enterprise editions have long lacked perpetual options, relying on volume licensing or Microsoft 365 bundles, but extending this to consumers echoes the Xbox Game Pass pivot, profitable for Microsoft, disastrous for ownership-minded users. As Bill Gates' reported stunned reaction, per Tech Insider whispers, stems from this departure from his era's one-time purchase model, clashing with Satya Nadella's cloud-first vision. Cloud dependency remains a glaring hole for non-NPU hardware, which excludes billions of existing PCs lacking 40-plus TOPS neural processors. On such devices, agentic AI falls back to remote servers, transmitting usage patterns, app switches, keystroke rhythms, and contextual screen data, despite on-device claims for Copilot Plus rigs. Privacy settings offer partial controls, but independent tests mirror Windows 11 findings, even required diagnostic levels, leak hardware fingerprints, IP addresses, and behavioral metadata to Azure endpoints. This data fuels AI refinement loops, where anonymized aggregates train models but risk re-identification when cross-referenced with public datasets. Your entire Windows profile, synced files, credentials, telemetry history hangs on Microsoft account security, often just a 6-digit PIN or password identical to your Hotmail/Outlook login. A phishing slip or credential stuffing attack doesn't just compromise email, it unlocks device graphs mapping your habits across machines. Fixes feel incomplete because telemetry lingers systemically. Group policy blocks help pro/enterprise users, but home editions default to transmission. Hardware locks amplify exclusion. Standard specs demand 8 GB RAM minimum, 16 GB AI optimal, TPM 2.0, and DirectX 12 GPUs, sidelining 2015 to 2020 laptops still humming for students, families, and budget offices. Microsoft hints at Windows 365 cloud streaming as a bridge, but that's another subscription layer, not ownership. Enterprise IT consultancies like Eagle Eye Technology warn of compliance nightmares, with no clear migration paths from Windows 10's October to 2025 end of support. Forums buzz with defiance. Users vow to block upgrades via registry tweaks or third-party tools like Shut Up 10. Post-recall opt-ins proved Microsoft listens under pressure, but without explicit perpetual license vows or NPU relaxations, trust erodes. The pattern holds. Promise evolution. Deliver dependencies, patch react. Go to settings right now. Yes, pause and do this while it's fresh. Start with privacy and security greater than diagnostics and feedback. Set diagnostic data to required, and the absolute minimum level that still lets the system function without full telemetry blasts. Immediately below, toggle off improve inking and typing. This stops keystroke patterns and handwriting data from heading to Microsoft servers under the guise of personalization. Kill tailored experiences too. It analyzes your app usage to customize feeds and promotions you never asked for. These changes slash 80% of behavioral tracking instantly, per independent tests on Windows 11 systems that carry over directly to 12 previews. Next, settings greater than personalization, greater than start. Flip show recommendations for tips, shortcuts, new apps, and more to off. This eliminates start menu ads pushing OneDrive, hide Microsoft 365, and account nudges. Your OS stops doubling as a billboard. Expect the interface to feel cleaner, though Microsoft may reclaim space with other prompts over updates. For pro and enterprise users, go deeper. Search gpedit.msc to launch Group Policy Editor. Navigate computer configuration, greater than administrative templates, greater than Windows components, greater than data collection and preview builds. Double-click Allow Diagnostic Data. Set to Enabled, then select Diagnostic Data Off. Not recommended from the dropdown. Most aggressive block available. Apply and run gp update/force in admin command prompt to enforce immediately. Home Edition lacks group policy, so pair the above with O and O Shut Up 10, free tool, for extra toggles like location and speech recognition. Verify changes via Microsoft Store's Diagnostic Data Viewer, so watch outbound connections drop to near zero. These steps fortify your current Windows against 12's subscription telemetry surge, buying time without instability or reinstalls. Test today. Protection compounds. Windows 12's pre-launch trajectory marks a pivotal shift in personal computing, from outright ownership of your operating system to a subscription-gated ecosystem where AI agents and core functionalities hinge on recurring payments and unrelenting data collection. Leaks confirm licensing strings like Subscription Edition persist without consumer perpetual options, while telemetry, app usage, keystrokes, screen context, flows to Microsoft servers even on minimized settings, training models that profile behaviors across 1.4 billion devices. This isn't evolution, it's erosion of user sovereignty, like with hardware locks excluding older PCs and cloud fallbacks, exposing data guarded only by email-grade PINs. Bill Gates' dismay underscores the betrayal of his one-time purchase legacy, as Satya Nadella's cloud empire prioritizes revenue streams over reliability. The backlash, forum revolts, enterprise defections, privacy alarms, signals a breaking point before a single retail copy ships. You've seen the evidence. Optional AI toggles don't halt subscriptions, NPU mandates sideline billions, and fixes leave telemetry ghosts. This video equips you to act before Windows 10's 2025 end of support forces migrations. Hit subscribe. Knowledge is your firewall in this subscription surge. Every click counts, prove them wrong. Prove.